You're listening to Winnipeg's Classic 107. My name is Simon Rusnak. Everything's gonna be all right. It's gonna be okay. Uplifting words from the iconic Dolly Parton, sung by Winnipeg's outstanding Polycoro in a new arrangement of Light of a Clear Blue Morning. I'm so happy to say that Polycoro Executive Director, producer, and soprano Zohreh Gervais and arranger tenor Scott Reimer have joined me on Morning Light to share more about this inspiring production. Hello to you both.
Hi.
Hi, Simon. Good to see
Zohreh,
you.
I'd like to first start off by congratulating you on another production that just brings all the feels. It has feelings of hope for the moments to come and weepy feels for all the moments missed. Tell us a little bit about the concept behind this production.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm glad that it's giving you feels. That's the point of it. So basically, I wanted to create a video that captured the sense of yearning and waiting that we're all feeling as we all keep being like, things are getting better. Oh, hold back. Oh, and then finally, during the third wave, we could kind of see the light at the end of the tunnel. And as the vaccination started rolling out, I was like, okay, maybe we can actually trust and hope again now that this is actually ending. And so we wanted a video that celebrated that moment and celebrated kind of the new appreciation we have for the little moments of life that we haven't been able to share over the past while.
Yeah, I mean, there have been so many of those moments that have been missed, and that hope, right? Something that we've all been telling us ourselves for so long. It's become a mantra. It's gonna be all right, and it's beautifully articulated in the song, and we'll get to that in just a moment. But also in the video, the third collaboration with director Lena Brown, building on the success of the Arresting Gaze and then the stark Bleak Midwinter videos. It seems to me like each of these videos and productions takes things to the next level, the next step. Does that come from this sort of continued collaboration with Lena?
It does. It's also been for us as we've been learning kind of what works for us as Polycoro in this medium. We took some of the lessons that we learned from the previous two videos and applied them forward. And also in terms of budgeting, like this was by far the biggest budget production that we had. And for Lena and I, we were like, okay, let's make the dream happen. Let's let out all the stops and really pull together something that touches all the right points. And so yeah, from that perspective, it was exactly the growth that we wanted with these three different videos. This was our season for the year. We
Mm-hmm.
funneled our funding that was supposed to be for live concerts into this instead, and we hope that it was able to connect with audiences.
Well, it definitely connected with me. Like I said, I love this so much. It was exquisitely shot and directed. And I think the biggest thing in watching this video is all of the moments feel real and genuine. Every single one of them, the big moments and the small moments. And I do want to ask about one moment in particular, somewhat selfishly, because my wife and I literally walked in the background of the wedding, and we didn't know it was for this video. Was that a real wedding? I need to ask.
You know what? It wasn't. That couple got married
Got me.
last summer. They got married last summer during the restrictions. And so for them, this was a chance to kind of relive it with some family and friends there again. So,
Well, how fantastic.
pretty
It
cool.
really felt like a real moment. And I do also want to say, I noticed that we didn't make the final cut in the video. It's fine. It's cool. You didn't need two people like gawking in the background. So anyway, the whole thing is so beautifully put together and it just feels so genuine. So Scott, you've been patiently waiting in the wings of this virtual conversation. The latest arrangement that you've done for Polycoro, as I mentioned, that Bleak Midwinter was also yours. Tell us about how you approached this Dolly Parton tune.
Oh man, it was such a ride. I've done a lot of arranging over the years,
You
and
have.
it is certainly a privilege to arrange for a group like this. We've got sopranos that can go up super high and basses that can go down super low and everything in between. So there's a lot of versatility to work with. Basically all the tools that you could hope for as an arranger are in place with the ensemble. And I mean, yeah, like also being involved in the organization, singing and conducting, I know the voices quite well, and so for me to write that low D here or whatever and have it, even if I wanted to have it leap up, I know I can do that because I know his voice really well, right? So it was such a privilege to work on that. I will say, when this song was first put forth by Zohreh at a board meeting, I said, like there is a pretty well-known choral arrangement of this song out there, right? And when it kind of, it turned out that we want to make a new one. Okay, great. Like I'm very excited. It's a bit of a pop song in terms of its structure and form and the harmonic material to work with. So I had to get a little bit creative to really make it my own. But it was a ton of fun to do.
Just before we continue, Scott, I'm going to get you to pull your headphone out just a wee bit because there's a little bit of scratching out there. Not your headphone, but your actual microphone on the.
Oh,
Yeah, there you go. Just if you give it like a little pull out, it'll sound
yeah,
even better. Perfect,
yeah.
nice.
Okay.
And I do want to unpack a few of the things that you mentioned just a little bit more. The first one being that you're sort of I don't know if this is a term, but we're going to make it one. You're sort of super chorister here in town. You've sung with everybody, and everybody knows you in the choral community. And you mentioned, the talent that is there in Polycoro. Can you tell us more about when you were putting forth your arrangement? Did you have specific voices in mind? Like you were talking about that low D that is available and the sopranos that are there. Can you talk more about how that's an advantage for you as an arranger when the organization then asks you to write specifically for them?
That's a really interesting question. So what I thought was interesting is that Dolly Parton, even though she seems like she's got a really high soprano voice, the range is actually very much in the alto domain. And I thought, do I change the key here? And generally speaking, in my composing and my arranging, I like to spread the melody around as much as I can, give all the parts something interesting to sing, so that they can really connect with the piece as a singer. But in this case, I thought, you know what? We've got terrific altos. Altos are not featured often enough. I want to keep it there. We're going to go with the original key. It's going to sit perfectly for these voices that I know. And so it was great in that way. One danger there, though, is quite often when you're arranging, especially pop stuff, it can be a little bit difficult to find things for the sopranos
Mm.
specifically to do that's interesting. And but the fact that I know we've got such capable sopranos that can go so high, I knew that I could be creative and pull little tease little things out of the text of the song, and really paint that picture using some of the high soprano voices that we've got to work with.
Um, you really did such a wonderful job, and you mentioned there was an existing arrangement, an existing choral arrangement. First of all, it's pop song. It ain't your classic Carter family harmonies. It sounds so fresh. It sounds so modern, and there's almost like these moments of like almost like Jacob Collier like density in the harmonics. Does that sound? Zohreh's giving a big thumbs up. Is that was that sort of like an inspiration?
Well,
That was a
I will admit that Zohreh had mentioned early on, you know what, we're going for something. What was it? A mix of Jacob Collier and I can't remember what. But it's funny that you mentioned Jacob Collier, and
You can totally hear it. Zohreh, do you want to talk a little bit more about that, just out of
Yeah, so
curiosity?
one of the things that I absolutely love about Jacob Collier is the way that he, even though he's layering like his own voice often, in
Hmm.
much the same way that we were making this recording, he manages to capture a rhythmic intensity and he puts all these rhythmic layers in that are really fascinating to me as a musician. I love the way that he does that. And so that was something that I had pitched to Scott. I was like, I want this song, but I want it with the kind of like cool rhythmic intensity and like maybe throw some like Latin rhythms in there. I don't know, like make something cool happen. And he just totally knocked it out of the park.
Yeah,
wanted.
his progressions are totally mind blowing too. I mean, there's the rhythmic element, and then the way how he gets back to his home keys. Just you can watch the YouTube videos; it's mind blowing. Scott, do you want to add a little bit more there?
Well, I mean, I was just gonna say, like, some of the interesting rhythms and stuff like that is, I've got a lot of experience with that because to drop a name from the past, to Winnipeg past here, not far past, but I used to arrange a lot for Antiphony, a
Hmm.
vocal ensemble that I had going here for a long time, and for example, I did an arrangement of Billie Jean, Michael Jackson, but in 6/8 with really interesting rhythmic ideas, and so this was not something that I was unused to, but it was strange because Polycoro, even though the repertoire that we do is relatively broad, and we cover a lot of different genres and a lot of different time eras, it was still interesting that we were going to be doing a piece, like this, where I could really get into all kinds of syncopated rhythmic ideas between all the different voices, throw in a couple of extended harmonies, kind of jazzy, almost, um, and know that it was going to work out with this group. So
And
it was tons of fun.
and workout and fun it most certainly did. And I definitely want to play it to end this interview. But just before we get to the recording, the video itself opens with members of the choir sharing some things that they've been missing and moments that they're looking forward to. And Scott, you share a pretty big moment at the start of the video. Would you mind kind of recounting that for listeners?
Yeah, happily. We actually had a baby last summer. The pandemic hit, and it kept going, and we're like, okay, so I can't go to doctor visits, and I might not even be able to be at the birth, right? And she came, our daughter, and the pandemic kept on going. And aside from family and some close friends, she still hasn't met a lot of people, and we haven't been able to go to public spaces and see all kinds of other babies and children. And so when now that we can start to get her seeing more people and meeting more people, it's very exciting. So that's a meaningful thing for me. Absolutely.
Well, congratulations again. It really is so exciting. And Zohreh, what about you?
In terms of moments I'm looking
Yeah.
forward to, I'm really looking forward to actually making music with other musicians in the same space again, because it's been so long and I'm so tired of playing solo Bach and singing by myself. So I think that the first time that we can get together as a group and sing this stuff together, like that's just, I'm probably not even going to be able to sing. I'm just going to be crying, but that's definitely what I'm looking forward to.
I think we're all looking forward to it. And to continue that thread, I know I'm looking forward to just being in the audience again and experiencing Polycoro and feeling and absorbing the sounds. But in the meantime, this will have to do. This is Polycoro, Light of a Clear Blue Morning, arranged by Scott Reimer.